The Master Assassin Restoration, a fan discussion. Before I get into this, I want to explain something first. I struggle with reading and sometimes with explaining my thoughts clearly. Because of that, I use AI to help organize my ideas and put them into words better. So if this sounds more structured, that's why, but the idea itself is mine. And I also want to be clear about something else. This is just a fan concept, nothing more. I don't have the ability or resources to actually make this happen. I play on Xbox, not PC. The closest this could realistically get to becoming real is if someone in the modding community brought it to life on PC. But even then, that would leave out a lot of players who don't play on PC, so it wouldn't fully reach everyone anyway. Still, it's an idea I wanted to share. This whole thing started because I've been playing Assassin's Creed Unity a lot recently, and going from that game back to the Ezio trilogy is honestly kind of jarring. Unity, when it works the way it should, has some of the smoothest movement in the series. The parkour feels fast, fluid, and natural. You can move up buildings, down buildings, across rooftops without constantly stopping or fighting the controls. Then you go back to the Ezio games and you really feel the difference. Movement is slower. Climbing feels more limited. Getting down from buildings isn't nearly as smooth. At the same time, when I think about combat in games like Assassin's Creed 3, Black Flag, and Rogue, it feels like those games took things a step further. You can chain kills together. You can fight multiple enemies without breaking your flow. You can parry one enemy and move straight into the next without it feeling stiff. The Ezio games do have counters and takedowns, and they're still great, but they don't feel as connected or as fluid as what came later. So I started thinking about it, not in a remake the whole game way, and not in a change everything way. Just a simple question. What if the Ezio games felt as smooth as Unity, and the combat flowed more like AC3 without changing anything else? That's really all this idea is. Not new weapons, not new mechanics, not changing the story or the identity of the games. Just improving movement, combat flow, so that everything feels more modern and connected. And honestly, a big part of this comes from something specific. If you look at the opening cinematic of Assassin's Creed Revelations, you see Ezio taking down multiple enemies, moving from one to the next smoothly, reacting quickly, fighting like a true master assassin. It looks effortless, it looks fluid, it looks exactly like how you'd imagine a legend like Ezio should fight. But when you actually play the game, you don't fully get that same feeling. So it makes you wonder, what if you did? What if the way Ezio fights in cinematics was how he actually played throughout the entire trilogy? Now, I also thought about how you'd explain something like this so it doesn't feel out of place. Because if someone comes back to these games and everything suddenly feels different, it could feel off. So maybe there's a simple way to handle that. You add a small narrative touch, a short cutscene, a line of dialogue, something that shows Ezio refining his skills over time. Not changing the story, just giving context. So instead of feeling like something is wrong, it feels like Ezio has evolved. At the end of the day, this isn't about changing Assassin's Creed. It's about closing the gap between what the games feel like and what they look like they should feel like. Because the foundation is already there. The movement just needs to be smoother. The combat just needs to flow better. And again, I know this isn't something I can make happen. I don't have the tools, I don't have the resources, and being on Xbox, I don't even have access to mods. But it's still something I think about, because if something like this ever did exist, even as a mod, it would probably be the closest thing to making Ezio feel exactly like the master assassin he's always been shown to be. So, yeah, it's just an idea, but still. A guy can wish, can't he?
Claudia, my dearest sister. I have been in Acre a week now, safe and in high spirits, but prepared for the worst. The men and women who have fed and sheltered me here also give me warning that the road to Masyaf is overrun by mercenaries and bandits, not native to this land. What this could mean, I dread to guess. When I first set out from Roma 10 months ago, I did so with a single purpose: to discover what our father did not. In a letter written the year before my birth, he makes mention of a library hidden beneath the stones of Masyaf Castle. A sanctum full of invaluable wisdom. So what will I find when I arrive there? Who will greet me? A host of eager Templars, as I fear most strongly. Or nothing but the whistling of a cold and lonely wind. Masyaf has not been home to the assassins for almost 300 years now. Can we still claim it for our own? Are we welcome there? I am wary of this fight, Claudia. Not because I am tired, but because our struggle seems to move in one direction only, towards chaos. Today, I have more questions than answers. This is why I've come so far. To find clarity. To find the wisdom left behind by the great Altair. So that I may better understand the purpose of our fight. And my place in it. Should anything happen to me, Claudia, should my skills fail me, or my ambition lead me astray, do not seek retribution or revenge in my memory, but fight to continue the search for truth, so that all may benefit. My story is one of many thousands, and the world will not suffer if it ends too soon.